Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, I have a lamp on because until the third week of December, it's just going to be dark and darker every morning, and we probably won't see the sun come up. After that, then I can go back to letting the dawn arrive naturally, assuming it's not so freezing cold that I got to keep that curtain closed just to keep the insulation, keep the cold air from coming in. The best thing, the thing I like the most about wintertime is that it doesn't last. I actually promote global warming. um, I'm an advocate for global warming. All right. Here is Burley Sullivan says, you Ballantine's Finest is the control group. Ballantine's Finest, introduced in 1910. The recipe has never changed, they say on the website. Although it used to be 86 proof. Now it's 80 proof, but nothing changed. Okay. How about that? That'd be like saying Bush beer has never changed since 1955. It used to be 4.9%. Now it's 4.3, but nothing changed. BC's Beer Reviews. Always BC's Beer Reviews. Look, y'all, regardless of it, if it's a bottle or a can, he's going to review a beer. And if he had to give it a score, he's going to tell you the score. The Dixie Baseman says cold air and old joints aren't a good combo. Cold air and dampness is a worse combo, and we have enough of that around here. I love Bush beer. Okay. The only thing I like about winter time is burning wood in my fire pit, says Kevin Johnston. Also, whiskey tends to be a bit more enjoyable. Hey, look, y'all can burn all the wood and sip all the whiskey you want. I hate winter time. I don't hate it as much. Well, I just hate it. Okay, anyway, this big heavy bottle of Ballantine's is square bottle. Squared out was rectangle, but you know what I'm saying, the squared off bottle. I bought this at Total Wine and More, and it cost $27.99. Well, I think I actually paid about $1 less, but the price went up. But Mathern's has this $16 for the regular size bottle. That's the normal price. You'll see it about $16. You say, well, that's cheap. Yes, about the same price as Grant's. Lou Grant's, you've probably heard of that whiskey. And I got Lou Grant's coming up. Like a flower. Da, 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 da. Go to Florida, no winter, says Burley. Well, northern Florida does. Northern Florida is colder than Louisiana. I mean, northern Florida is colder than southeastern Louisiana. But yeah, I'd like to live in Miami because it'd be warm all the time. People say, wouldn't you get sick of all that warm weather? The answer would be very clearly, no, I would not. Okay, but enough rant and raving. Here's the competitor, Piperdean, introduced way back in 2016. Product of Scotland. This blended Scotch whiskey is well, I paid $5.99. Now it's gone up to $6.49. $6.49 a bottle. You say that's rather cheap. Because it's rather cheap. Okay, now think about that. They got to distill it and blend it and age it, or age it, then blend it. Depends how they want to operate it, process it. Then they got to ship it all the way to Kentucky and bottle it in Louisville, Kentucky by the Founders Company. So even with all those shipping costs and all of that production costs, no advertising costs, as you can imagine, it's still $6.49. Must be wonderful. Okay, I can't read these without my glasses. Love Lou Graham and that band Foreigner. Oh, okay. Well, I have Lou Grant whiskey. Grant's whiskey coming up. He's the station manager. All right, I'm assuming that you must have a pretty decent sized cabinet for all your spirits. A liquor cabinet? No, I don't. I just have it stashed here and there. Now, what happened was our store gave me an Abita beer shelf, like a big beer shelf. They were going to throw it out. wood, not particle board. So I've been stacking it on that. I mean, I can hold a lot of cans of beer because I do beer, my beer bottle and can collection. And then I got another one they gave me from a beta. Not a beta. Let's see. One is from a beta. One is from Sweetwater. I can't remember. I have to go look. And it's wood too, no particle board. And I've been stacking them on that. And then I have kitchen cabinets. Some of them are empty, so I've been putting the liquor in there. And then I have 2 metal racks that the same store gave me that I put a lot of liquor on. So I've got it in 4 different rack locations and then in cabinets. You say, well, that sounds like a lot of liquor. We won't talk about that at this particular time. He says, I know I'm joking. I get it, BC. I like to joke around too, but some people get, I'm not saying you, but some people get really offended. Like they take everything wrong, especially if it's written word. If you're typing on Facebook, they'll be like, I can't believe you said that. I was like, it was a joke. Didn't you see? But you see, when you read it, you can't get a person's inflection or their tone of voice. So if you're a real uptight person, like, you real wound, people like that, they wound up real tight and they uptight and they looking, that's kind of like the way they look all the time. And they're just waiting to be angered. You know what I mean? It doesn't take a whole lot to set them off. So when you got that kind of personality type, which we would call unstable, then you don't know how they're going to react. Hans Eysenck, who died, Hans Eysenck was the one that came up with that four-modal model of personality, 4-factor model of personality. Hans Eysenck. He was a really famous professor of psychology. He ended up kind of falling out of favor with the psychological world because they said, oh, we found out you did work with the German government in the 1940s, 30s and 40s. He said, well, I lived in Germany. I was a professor. I worked for the university. So therefore I did it. And, they tried to say all kind of nasty things about him and say, well, that discredits your work. Well, it doesn't discredit his work because his 4-factor model of personality was very accurate. In my opinion, he said that personality was genetic. In other words, you're going to be born with it. And you can't really change a person's personality. I mean, you can influence it or modify it to some extent, but he said, you're really not going to change their personality. So he did it like a compass. So he said, on the top side, you have extroverts. And on the bottom side, you have introverts. And on the one side, east and west, you got unstable and stable. So the kind of personality I'm talking about is unstable, whether they're introverts or extroverts. Introverts, they keep to themselves, There's nothing wrong with that. He didn't pass that judgment. He just said they like to keep to themselves. Quiet, shy, And then you got the extroverts out and about talking to everybody, like to be on the internet doing videos and whatnot. Want everybody to see their Facebook stuff all day long. Look, we're eating a hot dog. Oh, look, my baby got a bruise on her knee. Oh, look, we had the pumpkin festival. Constantly they want everybody to see what they're doing. They're extroverts. They're out and about. But either way, he said, unstable is you really don't know how they're going to act. They're unstable. They're unpredictable. And that's the type of personality I was talking about. Have you ever heard of King Philip's War? Oh, about with the Indians in Massachusetts? Burley Sullivan said yes. I think that's cool. Okay, well, I got to get on with this touchdown. I think that's cold. Start again. If you think that's cold, try Alaska. I've only had Piperdean. I've never had the competition, but I heard a lot of good about it. I was at the liquor store, so don't count it out, folks. While I was in the liquor store, would you say you're more of an introvert or an extrovert? Well, I mean, if I'm on the internet doing videos all day, every day, all week long, I guess, more extroverted, but probably on the low end, like not high extrovert, like, but into that, because if I was all introverted, I'd have a Facebook account, but I wouldn't post anything. You know what I'm saying? I'd have a YouTube account, but it would only be for watching. I probably wouldn't even comment, or I might, but it'd be very reserved. You know what I'm saying? That would be like traditional Catholics hating Archbishop Vigano because of his past issues. I'm not sure I know anything about that story. All right, anyway, so I don't know anything about that story. As you can see, there's hardly any Piperdean left, and I probably should have just finished it off and not even saved it for a taste challenge. But there it is. Such is the situation we're dealing with. It's golden. The Ballantines is golden as well. So if you bought a handle of Piperdean, it would probably be $17. I'd have to check the website for Albertsons. That's usually the company that sells it around here. So we're talking about at least a $10 difference per bottle. So is the Ballantines going to really be $10 better? I don't. It doesn't seem like I can feel a weight difference here, so I'm going to try to do it blind. I'm not catching much of a weight difference, although there is a difference in the volume you can see. But we'll try to do it fair. Honestly, I don't think Ballantines is going to be a bit better. They're both sort of very basic grain tasting. Got a honey note, no kind of smoke, no kind of peat, no kind of real interesting. They're just regular old whiskeys. I mean, you could tell it could be Irish, it could be Canadian, it could even be American whiskey. It's just like blended. It's generic. There's the term. These are like generic products. They're not bad, but they're not like you'd be wanting to go find them. Ballantines, it's got a pretty bottle and a pretty label. So it's got that going for it. It's pretty. It has a nice website. They spend a lot on advertising and magazines, whatever. So it has that, or internet. Piperdean has an okay looking label, gets no advertising. It's just stuck on the shelf and people buy it or they don't buy it. It's very discount priced. So it's not going to get a lot of regard, but it might be just as good because we don't drink the labels or taste the labels. So here we go with the taste. Yeah, it's the same old thing. It's like a lot of sharp grain, cereal grain, a little honey note from the sweetness. You can tell it's 40% alcohol, like rubbing alcohol type, you know what I'm saying? Alcohol. And it's just basic. It's not made for sipping, okay? It's not a sipping whiskey. No one buys Piperdean to sip it by the fireplace. They buy it to mix it with Mountain Dew. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And if you don't believe me, go look at all the videos there are on the internet for Piperdean. You might say, well, you're the only person with videos on the internet for Piperdean. That's why. That's telling you that no one's regarding it other than a mixer. Because there's a lot more people that can get it. It's all over the United States at Vons, Jewel Osco, Amigos, United States supermarkets, etc. Super Value. But nobody cares about it. Okay. Aside from buying it and drinking it, and that's it. You know what? I might have forgotten to look up Ballantine reviews. I got to check that out. I'm so backed up on my reviews that it's going to take a year to catch up. I'm not joking like that. I'm not joking. I mean, literally, when I did Alchemist Heady Topper, I said, let me look at all the reviews people have done over the years. There must have been 300 reviews. And then for the Narwhal Barrel Age, same thing. And or maybe 100. And then the Breckenridge Christmas, at least 80 videos. So I was like, how do you watch all this? I'll just turn the sound on and be listening to it while I'm looking at football. And I do pay attention to it. especially with the NFL. It's not that interesting anyway. I mean, I watch the Saints, but I don't care if Buffalo beats Denver or game. I'll watch it. College, I was looking at Ohio State and Michigan yesterday, and my neighbor across the street said, "Who are you pulling for? And don't tell me nobody, because you got to pick a team." I said, "I have no favorites." She said, "You're no fun." I said, "Well, I don't have a favorite. I'm not going to sit there and root for a team I don't care about." Now, Alabama last night, yeah, I was hoping they would win just because I wanted to see if they could come back and win. I said, "Watch them win." And they did. I said, "Look at Alabama, the unstoppable Alabama," except for that one little hiccup there at Texas A&M. But that team is something else. All right, well, enough of that. This one seems like it has a little bit more peatiness, but I mean, it's so minimal, I shouldn't even mention it. Okay, would I pay $10 more for Ballantines over Piperdean? I wouldn't even pay $1 more for Ballantines over Piperdean. They're so close. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even know if I can tell them apart. But secondly, if you got two whiskeys and you can't tell them apart, what's the rule of the road? You know what the rule of the road is. The cheaper one wins by default. You buy the cheaper one. And if you have a party and the guests say, "Why'd you bring that cheap stuff?" Tell them, "Look, bring your own. Bring Johnny Walker Blue Label. Go get 5 bottles. Go get Buchanan's Red Cap. Get 3 bottles. $150 a bottle." But usually they won't complain. They might make a remark, but they'll drink it. You know how these guests are. They're gonna drink it. But if you want something that looks pretty, get the Ballantines. But you're gonna pay $10 more per bottle for prettiness. Are you gonna get any better flavor? No, you're not. So I don't see the point in that. All right, that's it. So I got to see if I can tell them apart. I think this is Ballantines, but I got no confidence in it. No, it's the Piperdean. Got it wrong. First time I've gotten it wrong yet with Ballantine. But I had a feeling this was going to turn out like that because I knew that Ballantine was kind of bland. Not bad, just bland and kind of grainy and all of that. And I knew that the Piperdean, I had drunk almost the whole bottle. I knew what that tasted like. So there you go. Now, comments. And tomorrow there is no taste challenge. I already did Mondays yesterday to get it out the way. Tuesday, we got some more comment. I got JW Dant. JW Dant's going to probably beat Ballantines, even though it's $8.99 a liter. True story. $8.99 a liter, and it's going to beat a product that's $27.99 for a handle. That's the way it goes. Price does not always matter. Is the CBS News you watch on live at 7 in the Eastern time zone, or is on at 6 a.m. Eastern? On Sunday morning, I watch NBC affiliate and NBC New Orleans affiliate, and it's at 7 Eastern a.m. Who mixes whiskey with Mountain Dew? Never mind, I don't want to know, says Dixie Bass Man. Panthers Rule says me, laughing out loud. John and Illy. Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, John and Illy. I hope you're having a good time visiting. And I'm ready for Stout Sunday. I have to do research. I have to do the research on Welcome to My Dark Side, a stout from Sun Labs. So I know nothing about it except that I have the can. So I'm going to try to research it. I've mixed vodka with Mountain Dew, says Burley. B Aviation. How about those Detroit Lions? 0-10-1. Yeah, how about them? Guess how many National Socialist Football Cartel championships Detroit has won since 1957? Anyone? How many championships have they won since 1957? 64 years ago. Anyone? Panthers Rule. It's good with Crown. I know it sounds simple, but it's good. B Aviation. They'll complain, but they'll drink it. Story of our lives. I'll try it, Panthers, says Burley. Panthers, you won't regret it, brother. Panthers Rule says 0. B Aviation, 0. Dixie Baseman, 0. You're right. The Detroit Lions have won 0 championships since 1957, and they have been, John and Illy, 0. And they have been to 0 Super Bowls. How'd you like to be that? 1 playoff win since 1991. Great team, huh? All right. Oh, well, if I lived in Detroit, I guess I'd be going No, I wouldn't go to the games. I don't like going to NFL games. I hadn't been to a Saints game in 3 years. I don't like the crowd they attract. They attract a bad element. NFL games attract a bad element. They go there to fight. You know, these very low income people that all the money they spend in their life is go to the Saints game or Dallas Cowboys game, and they're just looking for trouble. I don't. Tulane football attracts a much well-heeled, much better crowd, smaller crowd. Well, it's a smaller stadium, but they're not out there looking for trouble. They're actually there to look at the game, watch the game. But oh well. If I lived in Detroit, I would go to games. You know, basketball more than likely, like University of Detroit Mercy. Probably go to Eastern Michigan football. Anyway, I don't live up there. It's too cold. I don't want to live there. I'm a Lions fan. It's not easy, says B Aviation. Hey, we haven't won a playoff game since 2015, says Panthers Rule. Lions beat Dallas in 91, says Burley. What's shaking besides the bacon? The news is on. I got to go, y'all. You're right. So, moral of the story, these taste the same. I couldn't tell them apart. Get the cheaper one, which in this case is Piperdean. Cheaper by $10. Piperdean, you are the winner, and you are now retired. The bottle is empty. There will not be any more Piperdean on this channel. Thank you for watching this video production. Detroit does have some good basketball. Yes, that's true. From time to time.